Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami ilondoloze ilondoloze ilondoloze
Good evening and welcome to the 34th Annual You Make a Difference Awards. Para los que necesiten traducción en español, por favor utilicen el botón abajo del globo que dice interpretación para recibir su interpretación en español. So good evening, everyone. If anybody needs interpretation in Spanish, please use the icon at the bottom that says interpretation for Spanish. So welcome again to the 34th Annual You Make a Difference Awards. This event is presented by the Community Advisory Committee for Special Education, otherwise known as CAC, which is a mandated organization required by the laws of the California Education Code. The CACs came about as the result of the federal enactment of the Education for All Handicapped Children Act in 1975. Which is currently enacted as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. This law guarantees that every child with a disability has the right to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. Some of the CAC responsibilities include advising the administration and Board of Education regarding the development and review of special education programs, assisting in the evaluation of the local special education plan, acting in support of children with disabilities, and promoting and participating in the district's disabilities awareness efforts. The annual You Make a Difference Award was started by a former CAC chairperson and parent of a special education student in the mid-80s. She wanted to recognize those who go above and beyond the call of duty and service to the special education students in our district, and the first ceremony was held in her home. The awards have since evolved into a yearly ceremony honoring individuals such as parents and family members, general and special education teachers, school employees, community groups, and bus drivers. We would like to thank the board trustees for joining us tonight and our new SELPA director, Kristen Hardy, for her support during these unprecedented times. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Myrna, who is not only a special education teacher at De Anza High School, but she's also a past You Make a Difference honoree. She is going to show you a few steps of the Jerusalema Dance Challenge she issued in the spirit of the dance, in celebration of reaffirming our commitment to ensure equal opportunity for all and continued fight against inequities and inequality.
Good evening, everyone. Before I continue, I just want to say congratulations to all the awardees, especially to my special ed admin team and our very own Christopher Peters. Okay, so let me get situated here. Very easy. Three counts of eight. We'll start with the left. Tap 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then change to the right. 5, 6, 7, 8. And the next 8 counts is exchanging 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then walk front. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you snap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the back. 6, 7, 8. Then you're back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exchange 2, 3, 4. Walk 6, 7, 8. Then snap to the left. Snap and back. And again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then walk 2, 3, 4. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you're back. We'll do that over and over, and it's that easy. So I'll see you again. And next time I'll be with music. Back to you, Miss Patricia.
Thank you so much, Myrna. You got our hearts pumping a little bit. Now I'd like to introduce our MC for the evening, Mr. Tom Vacar. He is a reporter at KTVU who has generously given his time and talents for more than 20 years to this event. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you very much. And who'd have thunk we'd have done it this way? We've always gone to the gymnasium up at the school. We've always done it in person, but even as it was starting last year with the pandemic, but we braved it out, we did it, and it's my intention that this time next year when we do this again, we'll all be there in person. But now what we want to do is we want to move on to the awards, the very reason that we are here. The Jake Rockerman Award was created in honor of 9-year-old Jake, who passed away in 2003. Jake was a student who, despite his diverse disabilities, touched the lives of many parents. His parents, Trish Gomez and Glenn Rockman, were very involved in his education, volunteering in many capacities, and the district as well as in the community. Each year, the CAC presents this award to students who have gone out of their way to positively impact the lives of their special education peers. To receive this award, students must have given support to a special education student, been a positive role model to a special education student, or help promote inclusion with the general education community. This year's honoree, Nolan Wu, is a 3rd grade student at Terra Hills Elementary School. Nolan stands out as one of the very best peer role models. As a student in Miss Garson's class, he has participated in plays and poetry groups over Zoom. But before school closed, he would give his lunch up and recess up to volunteer his time in special education classroom playing games and reading stories to students. Nolan has formed close friendships with some of these students, and they enjoy him as much as he enjoys them. This school year, Nolan participates several times a week in class peer group situations. He will plan content and activities based on what the class is learning about. His enthusiasm never fails. He is a wonderful addition to the classroom community, and they are lucky to have him, a peer, tutor role model for the entire class. Ladies and gentlemen, our honoree. Please play the tape.
Hi, I'm Nolan, and this Jake Rockman Award means so much to me, and I've worked so hard to get it, and I just feel grateful, and I just throughout this whole year remember those fun times I've been playing with those kids I've been playing with, and it's just all great. And also I am proud for this Jake Rockman Award because is because I just have amazing friends, and I think I made more friends to get this award. And Nathan also deserves it. He has been playing with me forever. And this award means so much to me and also to Nathan. So I think I'm going to give something to him too. And also, Nathan is my best friend, and I would like for him to get a little credit. And I don't get why no one would go out of their way and help, because they're awesome kids and they're amazing, and if you actually played with them, they're actually very fun to play with. They're exactly like a normal friend, and I think that this Jake Rockman Award really makes a difference.
Congratulations. Well deserved. One of the best awards that I host all year long. In fact, my favorite one is this one. Our next honoree, Administrator Christopher Pierce. When Chris Pierce expressed an interest in working as an assistant principal, Mrs. Siegler was able to hire him. She knew that he had an easygoing manner, technical know-how, and focus on relationships. Would all of those be an asset to the students and staff at De Anza and an ally to the students in the special needs programs? Chris has met and surpassed the hopes that she had when he was hired. He is strongly focused on his relationships with all stakeholders of the school. He's responsive to the needs as they arise. Generally, because he responds quickly and with good humor, he's able to de-escalate even the most challenging of situations. It is common to see a parent walk into his office yelling and walk out laughing. Similarly, the students trust him and know that they can confide in him. His relationships with students help him to solve and prevent issues on campus. Chris's demeanor and hard work are positive influences on students every day. Chris has been assigned as the administrator of special education for the past 4 school years. In that capacity, he has championed the SPED students and made sure that they had access to high-quality curriculum, teachers, and are included in all school events. He spends an immense amount of time working with the SPDE teachers to ensure that all of our students have equitable access. Chris is also thoughtful in building relationships with students in our SPDE programs. He can be observed joking with his students, encouraging them, and laughing with them regularly. His joyful presence and obvious care make the students feel loved and appreciated. And it is also one of the reasons that they feel integrated into the school at large. Whether they're in the cafeteria, the gym, or hallway, they feel bonded to their assistant principal and know that his care and protection is never far away. Chris is the great role model to all of De Anza's students, but he is particularly an ally to those in our SPDE programs. Chris's talent as an administrator lies in his ability to make people feel comfortable and cared for. Chris truly makes a difference. Please, let's play his tape.
Thank you for the nomination for Make a Difference. I want to first start off by saying I want to introduce my son, heir to the throne. This is Christian Pierce right here. And he actually is a student in our district, so go WCCUSD. I want to thank Ms. Sigler for nominating me for this award. I've known Ms. Sigler for a number of years. We have worked together in a variety of capacities within WCCUSD. And it is good to be recognized for the work we have done together. Most importantly, in reference to special education, I'm proud of the programs and the special education department at De Anza High School. I've been a part of that department for 4 years, provided leadership, provided direction, provided guidance. So, with that being said, I also want to recognize the wonderful teachers, the classified staff, the service providers, as well as any other people, parents and guardians in particular, that also make up a part of the special education department. Because without them, there is no me. So with all of that being said, I just want to thank everyone. I humbly accept this award. Thank you. Have a great week, and go Dons.
Yes, indeed. From the administrative team, Rachel Evanesian, Sonia Neely Johnson, and Jody Kuick. On March 16, 2020, California shut down, and school, as we've known it for hundreds of years, ceased to exist overnight. Educators across California and the nation rushed to figure out how to safely and effectively continue students' access to school in an environment that no one had ever faced and under constantly changing conditions with no roadmap, no playbook. No aspect of education was more uncertain than special education. What could be done? What should be done? What must be done to continue to serve our students with special needs? When they are the brick and mortar and inside of that facility, special educators are superheroes working long hours to create and deliver curriculum, complete reams of paperwork and documentation, and support with families and students. But COVID elevated the challenges for students, families, teachers, and specialists to brand new heights. 3 special education directors stepped up to face this challenge with incredible skill, dedication, creativity, calm, collaboration, and tireless energy. Within a few short weeks of listening and learning from our community and experts, they had redesigned and implemented a new service delivery model. This model continues to iterate as they monitor and adjust and meet with individual staff and families and watch the data. Even after 12 months, these 3 women continue to go above and beyond, working 10 to 12-hour days, 6 to 7 days per week, to ensure that the students receive the most effective services possible under these extraordinary circumstances. Dr. Jody Kuick has personally monitored and responded to the district's mental health crisis hotline since the day school closed and ensured that school psychologists have the training and the resources needed to support with the ongoing response. She replies to students and parent calls 7 days a week and ensures a warm handoff to professionals who can ensure safety to each student. Dr. Kuick is part of the county mental health team, and that is creating new resources to respond to the rapidly increasing need. She's working between staff and community to support a deep safety net of services across those systems. Rachel Avaneson and Sonia Neely Johnson support the K-12 continuum of special education programs and services. They embody the saying, building the plane while it's flying. They have dived into learning about distance learning and special education services delivery while ensuring that the department and staff and their general education colleagues have access to the most current best practices in the field. They have created high-quality professional development on a range of topics in distance learning to support our teachers, paraprofessionals, and specialists to continue to provide effective and legally compliant services and to hold virtual IEPs. Rachel and Sonia hold weekly job-alike meetings where staff can come learn together and support one another. They meet regularly with all the departments within our district to ensure that they're current on special education practices and to collaborate with the sites to support our programs and staff. We are honored and privileged to recognize these 3 remarkable women for the You Make a Difference Award. They have held space for fear, grief, and uncertainty in our community. They have supported everyone to find the bright spots of joy and excellence, and they have created an urgency to all around them to become the best themselves that they can be, even in the face of all kinds of challenges. Their creativity, skill, and unending dedication to students, parents, and the talented and caring professionals has helped this department at an unprecedented moment in not only the school's history, but in the world's history. Ladies and gentlemen, here is their tape.
Hi, thank you so much, Kristen, for nominating me. And just to everyone here, I feel like I'm accepting this nomination on behalf of just about everybody, parents, students, teachers, parents who end up being teachers, just during this just amazing time where people have really gone over and beyond. And Kristen, stepping into this role as SELPA director in the remote space, you've been amazing. I think you've really helped to keep our team united, and we feel a high level of support from you, I know. But mostly, I just want to take a second here. I've now worked for the school district for 38 years. It's just been an amazing career, and I just am really missing our kids and seeing them in the physical space and can't wait to get back together. But I mainly just really want to honor and recognize all the parents out here today, along with our amazing educational team and staff. You guys are the ones that have really made a difference, and I really appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sonia Neely Johnson, and I am so honored to be nominated for this award along with my colleagues, directors Rachel Avanesi and Jody Kuick. 2020 and 2021 has been a life-altering experience for us all. We have felt we have worked harder than we have ever worked, trying to ensure that our students with special needs and their families get the academic support, the social-emotional support, services, and care during these very difficult times. It means so much to me that the work that we have done is being recognized in this way. I work hard as I am passionate about education, inclusive education, equitable education for all. My role as director is to support our students and their families as they navigate the educational terrain. I work hard to be a good listener, empathetic, and solution-oriented. As a mother of a special needs son who has been in our district program since he was 2 years old, he's now 18, I have a very unique perspective. I work hard to provide services and support that I desire for my own child. There are many others who deserve to share in this award. My husband, Noah Johnson, who supports me and allows me to pursue my passion, which is education. My secondary program specialists, itinerant teachers, nurses, LVNs, and case managers who work so hard to support our students. I would like to thank the teachers, aides, and administrators who work collaboratively with us. I would also like to thank my mom, Shirley Posey, for her love and support of our family. Last but not least, thank you to Kristen Hardy and the CAC committee for this recognition. I hope this recognition of my work can serve as an inspiration to others in the field. Remember, if my work can make a difference, so can yours. I will continue my efforts to be a champion for our special needs students and families. And once again, I am very humbled and appreciative for this award. Thank you again.
Hello, everybody. It's truly an honor to be receiving this You Make a Difference award tonight. Thank you to Kristen Hardy for nominating me, and thank you to the CAC for putting on this annual event. I've been with West Contra Costa for 11 years, and I've worked alongside principals, teachers, paraprofessionals, related service providers, and other educators who are truly the best. Every day, I am inspired by the students and the families I serve, and I've never been more inspired than I have this last school year. In special education, we always work in teams, and I'm grateful for my team of Perlita, Michelle, Stephanie, and Perla, for all of the VISTA staff, my fellow administrators, and the clerical who help keep our special education department running every single day. I want to give a special thank you to my husband, Kevin, who supports my passions, who is patient with my late nights glued to my work laptop. And to my son, Ethan, you bring me so much joy every morning and every night. And I hope that you grow up to be as dedicated and as passionate as the other award recipients tonight. This year, we are separated by screens and social distancing, but I know that we are together in our love and our advocacy for persons with disabilities. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
The General Education Teachers Award, Amy Garzon. Amy Garzon is a special general education teacher, but she's really a special education teacher in the most special sense at her core. She makes accommodations, differentiation, and inclusion look like a walk in the park. Ms. Garzon will not stop until she reaches every student. Ms. Wu said, I've had the honor of teaching with Amy Garzon for the last 4 years at Terra Hills, and I am constantly amazed by the energy, effort, and heart she puts into every day of teaching, especially when the student offers challenges. But what I really hit the jackpot with was by being lucky enough to have my own child in her class for 2 years. As a general education teacher at Terra Hills, Amy Garzon goes out of her way to create an inclusive environment in her class. When the district shifted to distance learning, these inclusive particles were challenged and pushed into the max. But as always, Amy made it work. To teach alongside Amy Garzon makes you want to do for better than you can. It makes you want to be better than you are. When distance learning hit, schools had to get creative about including students with significant disabilities in the virtual world. Amy was up for the challenge. She got creative and got to work. Since March, Ms. Garzon has worked hard in collaboration with special education teachers to create meaningful social and inclusion experiences. In the spring, Ms. Garzon had her second grade class work with Mrs. Wu's mentally fragile class to write, perform, and produce a play on Zoom, Humpty Dumpty in Quarantine. In the summer, Ms. Garzon worked on her own time to have her past students co-host inclusive poetry groups, including in the school year. This school year, Amy has included her students in special education class Zoom peer groups. There is no one more deserving of this award. Amy Garzon is a champion for all students, especially students with disabilities. She continually and truly makes a difference. Time for her video, and then we'll do some dancing.
Thank you so much for this award. Wow, making a difference. That's huge. Terra Hills is a school, I've been here 16 years, and it's just a great place to be. We've always embraced the full inclusion and mainstreaming models. And that is really what I believe has made me the best teacher that I could be. Sure, I like to make jokes. I like to do lots of kinesthetic movements. I said, but really, it's really all about the genuinely love that each of our teachers, staff, and other students have for one another. I just can't tell you. March hit us and we were just like, how are we going to survive? Well, we got together with the medically fragile class, our buddy class, and we created a Zoom play. We have continued to work throughout the years, and I just continue to look for many more years to come. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, everyone. I'm back. So it's time for your movement break. This time we're going to do it with the music. I might have to talk over the music for you to hear me, but I hope everybody gets up, and you never know who's going to be highlighted, okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, right. Then 6, 2, 3, 4, walk. And stop. Snap, 6, 7, 8, again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and stay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and snap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and stay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so special shout out to my DA family. You know this dance. Dance with me later. See you again. Back to you.
Special education teachers, Isaac Chavez. Isaac Chavez consistently goes above and beyond to organize events and lessons for his students. It can be difficult to maintain the attention of a preschooler with autism, but Isaac, well, he always takes feedback and comes up with new and creative ideas. He's truly collaborative, and his lessons are easy to explain to families and replicate in order to create positive student outcomes. Isaac also goes out of his way to make sure the classes have appropriate adaptive PE equipment that fits tiny hands and smaller bodies that are still learning gross motor skills. Every year, Isaac plans a day of play with his students and their general education peers. Students really enjoy being able to participate in stations with their friends, whether they're kindergartners or sixth grade buddies who come to assist everyone. Isaac also takes time to know our students and their strengths and preferences. He brings a wide variety of activities to class and has clearly spent time and effort in his units. He models a lesson, then leaves the equipment for us to practice. This allows his classes to create daily gross motor and kinesthetic learning opportunities for their students. Isaac has a positive, can-do attitude, as well as working as a genuine collaborator. Distance learning is hard on everyone, but Isaac consistently provides both synchronous and asynchronous learning opportunities that students just love. His classes appreciate being able to practice the songs, the movements, and the dancing, even on days they do not see Isaac. Isaac goes above and beyond and is appreciated for all he does, and truly, truly makes a difference. Isaac.
Hi, my name is Isaac Chavez. I work as an adapted physical education specialist for our district, and I have been nominated for the You Make a Difference Award. Thank you, Miss Sarah Parks, for nominating me for this awesome award, and I am truly honored to receive this award, and I am very, very thankful to have a collaboration with you and all the teachers that I've worked with in the past and in the future. Thank you for always being a support for your students' movement times and also a PE curriculum. So thank you again for always supporting your staff, your students, and your parents at this time. This is the hardest time that we've had, and I appreciate you being strong mentally, physically, and in your heart. Thank you again.
Maria Evelyn Smith. Evelyn has always been a phenomenal teacher, but it's clear during distance learning how much care and attention she's giving her students, going above and beyond to help her students and their families, especially during this unprecedented time. Evelyn works with parents to create positive learning environments in their homes, regardless of resources, and she consistently holds her students and families to high but reasonable expectations. She continually forges strong relationships with families to help her better understand the children. She values the families as experts while offering her expertise and knowledge as an educator. In person and in distance learning, Evelyn works to understand each child's individual needs and tailors their education successfully. Evelyn's deep understanding of autism serves her students and community very well. Her love and care for the children and the families is evident. On a recent Zoom session with a student, Evelyn was able to coach the parents on how to help their child maintain a regulated state for learning, and he stayed engaged throughout the session because of the collaboration and trust between her and the family. She also has excellent relationships with general education teachers at Coronado and keeps the focus on the least restrictive environment for each children. She sets high expectations, and her students rise to the occasion in preparation for elementary school. It's amazing to watch students come in at 3 years old and improve their communications using a variety of methods. Thank you, Evelyn Smith, for making differences, big differences for our students and their families.
Thank you, CAC, for holding this event to celebrate employees who make a difference in our district. And thank you to Ms. Kate Hogan for nominating me. I really appreciate the recognition. I could not do this work without the support of my students' families, my students' moms, my students' dads, my students' grandmothers and grandfathers. Because we have a partnership together, we are able to help the student show progress. And I return every year because I see progress in the students. So big thanks to my students' families for supporting me every year and for partnering with me. Thank you.
Next, Sherry Roberts. Sherry Roberts came to WCCUSD from Fresno, where she worked for 8 years as a paraprofessional and then decided to become a special education teacher. Now, it was evidence that she was not a typical first-year teacher or one who needed a lot of support on how to organize her classroom. In fact, her mentor learned more from her about how to excite students and meet with them where they are. Sherry spent nights and weekends preparing for her students and making sure that she had individual lessons for her most challenged students. She created lessons that matched the needs of each student and then went above and beyond to bring engaging and effective lessons that gave each student the ability to succeed. She always had a bag full of student work that she would take home for evening review, just to make sure each student was able to meet their goals and objectives and have success in her classroom. She has a wealth of information to share and is always willing to collaborate and share her knowledge with other teachers so they too can engage their students. Sherry was instrumental in bringing Wednesday afternoon choice workshops to students at Mira Vista. Every Wednesday, each teacher and aides create a course in their area of expertise or interest. Students would then choose where they would want to go for a 1 hour in the afternoon for a class being taught by one of the teachers in the school. Many different subjects and projects were offered in these courses. Sherry brought this to Mira Vista from her previous school in Fresno, where it was there also very successful. Sherry Roberts, without a doubt, goes above and beyond her normal workday to create a positive learning environment for her students and is a valuable asset to any school she works at as a trusted colleague and collaborator.
Working with the special education population is one of the things that brings such joy to my heart. Seeing the kids grow in all different areas, whether it be academic or socially, is just amazing to me. The kids really are above and beyond anything I could ever hope for. We did clubs in the last 2 years, and that allowed my students to mix and mingle with their gen ed peers as well as the gen ed teachers. And they got to go and learn things about musical theater and Legos and science and all the things that they enjoy that have nothing to do with their learning abilities. Another thing that we do at Mira Vista is we remember that kids don't care what you know until they know that you care. And for me, that means a lot because when you're working with students for multiple years, they really have to know that you care. Thanks.
Next, Suzanne Schultz. Suzanne is an outstanding special education teacher and chair. She consistently goes above and beyond as both a teacher and advocate. She is a favorite of all the students. Before distance learning, many students would come by at lunchtime just to hang out. Those that did not have tutorial would beg to join her classes. She has genuine interests in her students and can see how much she cares about them and their success in school. It is not uncommon for former Crespi students to visit or contact her at Crespi. Suzanne's students are given every chance to be successful. She frequently welcomes students from the ESN class to participate with her students. Prior to distance learning, Ms. Schultz pushed into mainstream classes and worked with teachers so that the content of their lessons could be presented to RSP students in a way to keep them engaged. During distance learning, last spring, she was available for all of her scheduled classes to teach the lessons for the day, guide students in the completing of the classwork, and help them with any other assignments from other classes. She spends many hours collaborating with the history teacher, making presentations on Google Slides and Nearpod, inserting relevant videos, photos, and interactive components to make the lesson more interesting for the students. Ms. Schultz blessed the classroom with its own library, diverse in content and genre to encourage the students to read for pleasure. She was able to get a lot of books donated, and the rest she purchased on her own. She organized and labeled them by genre and bought bookshelves and containers for them. She provided choice reading time several times a week The school librarian was also invited to the classroom each Friday for first chapter readings and book reviews and previews. Now in distance learning, they continue reading circle groups for students to choose between several books, discuss, annotate, and fill out comprehension questions activities on Google Slides. Designing all these lessons for several different books must take hours and hours, but Ms. Schultz, well, she does it all to benefit the students. Suzanne constantly strives to incorporate new technologies and strategies to best meet the needs of her students. In order to encourage widespread accessibility, she has led trainings for staff alongside other SPED department members on accessible text such as Google Read and Write, Whiteboard Phi, and more. After these trainings, teachers' usage increased significantly. She's also deeply committed to critical social justice-oriented curriculums. She has worked in the close tandem with staff to develop inclusive curriculum that includes diverse perspectives, historical thinking skills, and activism-focused activities. Suzanne is also a member of the Callie Reads Site Implementation Team, a grant program designed to disseminate literacy strategies designed for SPED students throughout general education classrooms. Her presence on the grant team has encouraged SPDE fidelity, and she has served as a coach and observer to assist other team members who are attempting to implement new strategies. No matter the ask, Suzanne is always willing to adapt in order to best suit the needs of the community at Crespi. As chair, Suzanne not only leads that department, but has also taken on 504 chair roles in order to do and better suit the needs of all students with learning difficulties. She also has taken a lead in integrating a new model of RSP teaching, originally referred to as ISP, although distance learning has produced changes. She has served on ILT committee and has somehow found time to serve as chairperson of the yearbook committee for the past 3 years, holding weekly lunchtime meetings with students for planning and designing. Susan is a fantastic teacher, a fantastic leader. Her creativity, empathy, and drive to provide all students with an excellent education have and will continue to drive our school services forward. Whether learning on site or through Zoom, it has been her priority to make everyone feel welcome, valued, and cared for, as we now care for you.
Hi, everybody. I would like to thank my amazing coworkers, Sierra Barton and fellow winner Debbie Jacobson, for the honor of nominating me for this award. I would also like to thank the selection committee for honoring and recognizing all of the hard work that we all do every day. Most importantly, I want to thank my students. For the last 9 years, I've had the privilege and honor of being their teacher at Crespi Middle School. They are the reason why I do this, and I'm sure that I've learned so much more from them than they have from me. Thank you.
Christian Barnell. This year, the Community Advisory Committee would like to posthumously honor Mr. Christian Barnell, who passed away in October of 2020 after a brief but courageous battle with cancer. Mr. Barnell served as a special education teacher for West Contra Costa Unified School District for 22 years. He was a dedicated teacher who exemplified professionalism in every way. As SPED Chairman's Department Chair, he, for many years at ECHS, his fellow staff members admired his leadership qualities. He possessed a vast knowledge of SPED policies and procedures and was excellent in advocating for his students. His thoughtful, affable nature and quick, clever sense of humor were appreciated by the entire ECHS community. His colleague, Matt Folgeras, shared these words. As a colleague and SPED department member at ECHS, I knew many of Mr. Barnell's students. In the wake of his passing, I was profoundly touched by the stories they shared that featured the common theme of how he helped them maximize their potential. This heartfelt accounts of these students powerfully illustrate and continue to illustrate the difference that Mr. Barnell made in their lives. Now his tribute, and then we'll dance.
Hi everyone, my name is Lalis Davalos and I graduated from El Cerrito High School in 2019. Bernal wasn't just a good teacher, he was a good friend of mine. Someone who was always there for me in my tough times and always encouraged me and gave me kind words when I needed it the most. I remember a time when I was taking a college course, I was so close to giving up and he gave me an encouragement letter. He didn't know at the time, but the letter got me through. It might not been much, but it meant a lot to me. And little things like that is what made him different than the rest of my teachers. I will always be thankful for everything that he did for me.
Hello everyone, my name is Catherine Ochoa and I graduated El Cerrito High in 2019. I'm a former student of Barnell's. I mean, technically he wasn't my teacher, but I considered him a mentor and a friend. He taught me so much. He taught me to fight for what I believe in. And when an article about me came out, he printed it out and posted it on his door. And I think that was his way of telling me he was proud of me. It makes me sad that students now won't be able to call him his teacher, but I know that the teachers and students will carry on his legacy. He gave me so much memories through the Latino Student Union that I will never forget. He made a difference in my life, and I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for him. I am honored that I was able to call him my teacher, my mentor, and my friend.
Good evening. My name is Leslie Reckler, trustee for the West Contra Costa Unified School District. It is both my pleasure and my humble honor to accept Chris's award on behalf of the Barnell family. Thank you to Matthew for nominating Chris, and thanks to all of you that came tonight to remember him, share your warm thoughts, sentiments, and memories of him. To the Barnell family, we are grateful that Chris chose to spend his entire professional life with the El Cerrito High School family. His contributions were many, and we are lucky and grateful he chose to share his many talents with our students and community. He lives on through generations of students, and for that, we offer our profound thanks. Our thoughts are with you in this difficult time. Thank you and good night.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami
And now related services. Helen Miller, WATR Assistive Technology Specialist. Helen Miller has been an assistive technology specialist for Joshua for the past 7 years, providing consistent support and vital continuity from year to year and school to school. Helen started with Joshua at Fairmont Elementary in the 4th grade and quickly grew to be a critical part of his IEP team. Helen didn't just provide Joshua with his assistive technology. She got to know how he learned and what his needs were in relationship to scaffolding his education. When Joshua moved into 7th grade, he had a new IEP case manager, teacher, a new speech therapist, and a new AAC specialist, which meant Helen was the only member of Joshua's IEP team who could speak with experience about what strategies would work best and how his team could support him in his full inclusion environment. During his 8th grade school year, Helen took the extra time to design a reading comprehension program using assistive technology and very specific themes that were of interest to him. Witnessing Helen develop and implement this specialized program, they gained a huge appreciation for her impressive skills as a teacher, as well as an assistive technology specialist. After middle school, she followed Joshua to the 9th grade, where once again they relied on her voice within the IEP team to create continuity for Joshua in his program. Helen also played an important role in creating a model for growing Joshua's independence and taught his instructional aides how to work with him in a way that allowed him to become increasingly comfortable with less hands-on support. Throughout everything she does, Helen has relaxed and deeply respectful approaches to interacting with her students, as well as with parents and other school staff. She's able to connect with her students in a playful but also meaningful way that allows them to be fully open to learning new things. Once students are in this space, Helen's able to discover what problems or obstacles might prevent them from learning in various classroom environments, as well as to identify what accommodations or modifications might support their goals. Once identified, she is determined to give those students the tools required to maximize their success. Helen's contributions have been immeasurable, not only because of the assistive technology she provides, but because Helen knows how to make learning fun. Helen Miller has truly made a remarkable difference.
Hello. Thank you so much for nominating me for this. Joshua's family wrote a really nice letter, and I appreciate that. I really like to teach. I love to teach. And the thing I like about it most is that you can be very, very creative in solving and finding possibilities for the students. And I have learned so much from the students in terms of guiding me to help find places for them to demonstrate how wonderful they are. And I'd also like to thank Mimi Deegan for bringing me to WCCUSD and for Steve Collins for being such a great leader. So thank you.
Myra Covarrubias Ornelas. Myra is a dedicated school psychologist and an incredibly valued member of the school psychology department, Downer Elementary School, and West Contra Costa community as a whole. She is one of the leads of the bilingual assessment team for the school psychology department and is a respected leader in that department. Many colleagues look to Myra for guidance and expertise when thinking through tough cases. She has supervised many interns in the department who also speak glowingly about her supervision and mentorship. Myra volunteers her time to share her expertise with the department. She has led engaging and informational professional development presentations for members of the school psychology department, including an annual presentation on the best practices in bilingual assessment. She's also active on the School Psychology Assessment Task Force, where she brings her expertise about bilingual assessment during distance learning. She continuously advocates for the best practices in bilingual assessment to best support the students. Anyone who has ever worked with Myra regards her as kind and exceedingly thoughtful when working with teachers, administration, and other staff members. While Myra is always a professional and a goal-driven person, she goes above and beyond in service to the families she serves. She meets with parents to support students as an advocate for them, and she is always thinking of how the student can be included academically, socially, emotionally, everything in school. For students having difficulty on Zoom, Myra has been able to work with students, families, and teachers to support a check-in system on a daily basis. Her colleagues have learned so much from her and appreciate the difference she makes. What's most evident when working with Myra is how much she cares for the students and the families that she works with. She continuously puts them first, works collaboratively with all stakeholders to best support them. Myra is a gifted and esteemed school psychologist, and her colleagues are honored to work with her as she truly makes a difference.
Hi, everybody. I knew I wanted to work with children ever since I was a child myself. Back then, I didn't know what a school psychologist did. All I knew is that I wanted to work with children who, like my own sister, needed extra encouragement and support to reach their academic goals. Those of us that work in special education know that we don't do this work by ourselves. We are definitely part of a larger team. Thank you to my Downer Special Education team for all of your hard work and dedication. Thank you for all of the teachers, school staff, and administrators throughout our district for showing up every day for our students. Thank you to the Community Advisory Committee for putting together this virtual celebration. To Chris Reed for your generous words and nomination. A very special thank you also to my fellow school psychologists. I can't imagine doing this work without your expertise and consultation. To my children, Raulito and Giselle, you two are the motivation that keeps me going. To my husband, Raúl, you are the rock that sustains me. Los quiero mucho. Que Dios los bendiga. Buenas noches.
Instructional Assistants, Deborah Jacobson. Deborah Jacobson, Mrs. J as she's affectionately known at Crespi, to both staff and students, has served the WCCUSD community for over 20 years. She always goes above and beyond her job duties and supports each and every student, whether they are on her caseload or not. She has done this every year, and during distance learning is no exception. She is the leading person with reading groups during English class, pushing students to science and math classes, and volunteers for tutoring after school every Monday. Mrs. J works with small groups during office hours and attends all staff meetings, even when they are optional. She helps or attends after school and lunch, at times clubs such as the BSU, after school sports, and yearbook. She serves on the school faculty council and site council. She is a caring and kind person who shows initiative and supports the staff and students in every way possible. Truly a Crespi and special education star.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the award recipients. I'm Debbie Jacobson, also known as Mrs. J to my Crespi family. I would like to take this moment to thank the Community Advisory Committee for presenting me with this award. I know there are a lot of paras working for WCCUSD who also make a difference in the lives of their students. So I am honored to be chosen this year. And to Ms. Schultz, thank you for nominating me. It has been such a positive and rewarding experience working alongside such a dedicated teacher and with such a great SPED team. A lot has changed at Crespi over the 20 years that I've worked there, but one thing remains the same. We've always had such great, amazing administration, staff, and students. I feel so lucky to be part of the Crespi family. Go Stars! And once again, thank you, everyone.
Antoinette Tony Benuelos. Tony Benuelos always puts everyone's needs ahead of her own. her partner, her family, her school, her students, and really anyone who needs anything. Tony has the biggest heart of anyone you will ever meet. She's been a classroom support aide in the ESN classroom in the last 4 years and has been at Terra Hills even longer. Tony is someone you can always count on. She's always willing to support whatever crazy plan her teacher comes up with and will fully support anything to make school a better place for the students in her class. Last year, when a student in her class was in a group home and didn't have a family to celebrate Christmas with, well, Tony worked with the group home and social worker so he could spend Christmas with her and her family. When the time and the same student didn't have anyone to take them to an adoption event out of town, Tony volunteered her own time and offered to take him. She has even gone so far as to take steps necessary to try to be a foster parent to this student. During distance learning, Tony has been a gift to her school, to her teachers, her students, volunteering for whatever job needed to be done and going out of her way to make things work, offering to get equipment to students, prepping materials, whatever else is needed. The Terra Hills community is so lucky to have Tony. She truly does make a difference each and every day.
I just wanted to say thank you to Leanne Wu for nominating me, everybody at work for being awesome. That's Terra Hills Elementary. Love my work family. Thank you to my boyfriend Ray for always being supportive in everything I do. My mother for raising me to be the person I am and to never give up. All of my kids for supporting me in my next adventure, which is coming up soon. Anyway, thank you all.
The Brian Rutherford Memorial Service Award. Tonette Johnson and the First Student Team. The Brian Rutherford Memorial Service Award has been created in memory of our former manager of First Student. The CAC began presenting this award to a first student transportation provider for demonstrating excellence in service, performing their transportation duties with complete professionalism and compassion, and by going above and beyond their duties and by setting an example for others. Brian sat on the CAC board for many years. He was exceptionally sensitive to the needs of families, students that he transported, as well as the health and safety of his employees. He never met a challenge that he couldn't solve and has always been generous with his time and talent. It is fitting then that during this unprecedented year that we acknowledge the company he worked for so hard and was so proud of. Since the beginning of the pandemic, First Student has offered delivery of school supplies to students' homes, giving children the opportunity to experience the familiarity of the school bus, which had all but vanished from their routines this year. In December, First Student provided Santa's big yellow sleigh on wheels, making deliveries to the homes of kindergartners from Downer Elementary. The community appreciates First Student Bus Company for being responsive to the needs of the community during normal times and now in the midst of these unprecedented times, a year that they have had to reinvent themselves about what it means to serve. Transporting the number of students they do in normal times is itself a tremendous job. Brian would be immeasurably proud of you for your out-of-the-box efforts this year.
Hi, my name is Tonette Johnson. I am the Assistant Location Manager at First Student. And as you can see, we at First Student won the Brian Rufford Award, and we just want to say thank you. We love what we do. We are here for the community, and we just want to say again, thank you.
Well, it's time now for us to conclude this. As I say, who'd have thunk it? A year ago, we would have all been together. Next year, we will all be together. You've done a magnificent job. The production of this video presentation was first class. And I just have to say that I am proud to be a part of this. And as we part, I'm going to leave with the same thought I leave every year, and that is this. John Kennedy said in his inaugural address, "Let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking God's blessing and God's help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. And for these folks who make a difference, all of you who make a difference, you truly are doing God's work." Thank you. Good night.
Jerusalema ikhaya lami, ilondoloze uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema ikhaya lami,